Your cat has been studying you for years. It knows the sound of your footsteps. It recognizes your voice. It notices when you're looking at it and when you're not. It has learned which sounds predict food, which doors lead where, and which behaviors make you react. But here's the strange part. While you've been trying to understand your cat has been learning how you work. And the relationship it has built with you is probably very different from what most people imagine. To understand it, forget humans for a moment. Imagine two cats that know each other well. They rub against one another. They rest close together. They may groom each other, exchange scent, and sometimes slowly close their eyes while looking at one another. These behaviors can appear between cats that are socially comfortable with each other. Now look at what your cat does with you. It rubs against your legs, presses its forehead against your hand, sleeps beside you, sometimes licks your skin or hair, and occasionally it looks directly at you and slowly closes its eyes. That's where things get interesting. Cats are using parts of their existing social behavior with an entirely different species. Us. That doesn't mean your cat literally thinks you're another cat. We can't look inside a cat's mind and know exactly how it categorizes a human. But behaviorally, your cat has incorporated you into its social world. But why are cats so different from dogs? Dogs became extraordinarily specialized at interacting with humans. They are unusually sensitive to things like our pointing, gaze, expressions, and attention. Cats followed a different path. The ancestors of domestic cats likely began approaching early agricultural settlements for a very practical reason. Rodents. Stored grain attracted mice. Mice attracted wildcats. Humans benefited from having those wildcats nearby, and cats benefited from the hunting opportunities around human settlements. Over generations, cats that tolerated living near humans had an advantage. But cats retained much of the behavioral independence associated with their ancestors. Rather than replacing their existing social behaviors, cats appear to have adapted many of them to living around us. For years, cats had a reputation for being emotionally detached from their owners. But attachment research has complicated that picture. In unfamiliar environments, many cats behave differently when their familiar human is present. Some explore more confidently. After separation, some seek contact when that person returns before settling back down. Researchers have interpreted patterns like these as evidence that cats can form attachment relationships with human caregivers. So, a cat can appear independent, while your presence still matters to it. But attachment isn't the strangest part. Your cat may recognize far more about you than its behavior suggests. Experiments have found that domestic cats can distinguish their owner's voice from unfamiliar voices. Other research suggests they can discriminate their own names from other spoken words, and their reaction can be almost invisible. An ear moves, the head shifts, the tail flicks. Maybe the cat looks toward the sound, maybe it doesn't, because recognizing a signal and obeying it are two completely different things. Your cat ignoring you doesn't automatically mean it didn't notice you. And cats aren't only listening, they're watching. Your gaze matters. Your movements matter. Your routines matter. Your cat lives inside an environment largely controlled by another species, so it learns the rules. Where food appears, which doors open, which sounds predict something interesting, which behaviors get your attention, and which behaviors work particularly well on you. And one of those behaviors is hiding in plain sight: the meow. Adult cats rely heavily on scent and body language when interacting with other cats, while meowing becomes particularly prominent in their interactions with humans. Cats can vary their vocal behavior depending on context. Food, attention, a closed door, play. Different situations can produce different vocalizations. After living with the same cat long enough, you begin recognizing patterns too. Your cat learns which signals produce a reaction from you, and you learn what some of those signals predict. two species gradually building a tiny communication system together. But cats communicate with you even when they're completely silent. Take the head rub. When a cat rubs its face or forehead against objects, other cats, or humans, scent glands around its face contribute to scent marking. Rubbing can also occur during friendly interactions between familiar cats. So when your cat repeatedly rubs against you, you have become part of its familiar, social environment. Then there's an even subtler signal, the slow blink. Prolonged staring can be uncomfortable or threatening for cats. Researchers have tested what happens when humans imitate slow blinking. Cats were more likely to respond positively and, in some experiments, more likely to approach afterward. Which means there's a simple experiment you can try yourself. Look toward a relaxed cat. Gently narrow your eyes, slowly close them, then open them again. Sometimes the cat does it back. No words, no sound, just two different species exchanging a simple visual signal. And some behaviors reach even further back into a cat's life. Kneading is a perfect example. Kittens perform the rhythmic paw movement while nursing, yet many cats continue kneading as adults, especially in comfortable situations. That doesn't mean your cat has mistaken you for its mother. Animal behavior can't be translated that neatly. But a behavior with roots in an early period of comfort can persist into adulthood and appear in relaxed situations. Purring is another behavior we often oversimplify. A purring cat isn't automatically a happy cat. Cats can purr during pleasant interactions, but purring has also been observed during stress, injury, and other intense situations. It may serve more than one function, potentially including communication and self-soothing. Context matters, and this reveals the biggest mistake we make when trying to understand cats. We want to translate everything they do into human thoughts. My cat is jealous. My cat thinks I'm its mother. My cat thinks it owns the house. These explanations can be entertaining, but we cannot directly access a cat's internal thoughts. What we can study is behavior, and that behavior gives us a much more interesting answer. Your cat has learned you. It recognizes familiar signals. It pays attention to your behavior. It adapts parts of its communication around you. It can form attachment relationships with humans. Your cat doesn't need to mistake you for another cat for any of this to happen. It only needs to learn that you are familiar. Your voice belongs here. Your scent belongs here. Your movements are predictable. Your presence can be associated with food, warmth, interaction, routine, and security. So, what does your cat actually think you are? Science can't give us a sentence spoken inside a cat's mind. But behavior gives us clues about where we fit. Not prey, not simply a food dispenser, and probably not some enormous cat that your pet has confused for its own species. Something much more unusual, a familiar member of the social environment it has learned to share with an entirely different species, us. And maybe that's why cats seem so contradictory. Independent, but sleeping beside you, ignoring your call, then following you into another room, recognizing your voice, but refusing to move. So the next time your cat sits there silently watching you, remember this: you may have spent years trying to understand your cat, but your cat has been studying you too.